Okay, I think we're all done here. I have some Krishna conscious riddles that I put together over the years. Would you guys like to hear some of them?
Yes, please.
Okay, so it's Krishna Trivia. It's all like, they're not meant to be easy at all. So don't be surprised if you can't get it, because they're meant to be, quite challenging. So the first one, somebody might get the first one. Who are the 6 vegans that you have to get them to listen to you before you can become a world-class teacher? Narayan, who are the 6 vegans?
Vegan?
Yeah, you got to get them to listen to you before you can become a world-class teacher.
Oh, you're talking about nectar of instruction, right?
Yeah.
The first verse, Vacha Vegam, Manasakroda Vegam.
Yeah.
I think I can only do the half.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, you got to get all the urges to listen to you before you can become a world-class teacher. Okay, here. Which avatar stops aliens in invisible cloaking spaceships from interplanetary galactic genocide by the strength of his transcendental fashion show?
Can you repeat this, please? Very slow.
Okay. Which avatar stops aliens and invisible cloaking spaceships from interplanetary galactic genocide by the strength of his transcendental fashion show? Okay, well, it's only one verse in the 2nd canto, and it's Buddha of a different age. There's a verse where it talks about how Buddha, it says Krishna dressing himself attractively as Buddha. So I guess maybe, and it sounds like he has a fashion show or something. It talks about him dress. It's talking about something about his dress. He stopped there, and they have adrishta turbihi. They have invisible cloaking spaceships, and that were created by Vedic knowledge. And these people were going around killing beings of other planets, and Buddha told them. It's actually a little bit very parallel to the Buddha of our time, because the Buddha of our time, our Kali Yuga, is that they used Vedic knowledge, the knowledge of sacrifices, to kill animals. And Buddha said, hey, you got it wrong. Stop all this. And so similarly, they're using Vedic knowledge to make invisible cloaking spaceships and killing people of other planets. And Buddha came and said, hey, stop this. So that's in 2nd canto. That one's meant to be very hard to. Well, who was the first asura to start global warming?
Hiranyakashipu.
Yes. Yes. Who's the first vampire in Krishna Lila? Putana. Says she was fond of drinking blood. Whose tail did they put on Nimai's head? And I'll tell you the answer. It's Vishnu's tail. You're like, wait, Vishnu has a tail? Well, tail is actually the word for oil. Vishnu oil. They rub Vishnu oil on his head. Okay. What do they call Rath Yatra in Puri? It's called Gundicha Yatra. Oh, I like this. So this is from Mother Devaki.
Can I ask, why is it called different? And isn't there before Ratha Yatra, isn't there something the cleaning?
Yes, Snan Yatra. Yeah. Oh no, Gundicha Marjan. Actually, that's the clue. Gundicha Marjan is the temple where the parade ends. And so in Puri, it's called Gundicha Yatra.
Oh, the Gundicha is the name of a temple. That doesn't mean cleaning.
Marginum means
Oh,
clean.
margin.
Yeah, like it's
Okay.
that's in the Gurvastakam song in the morning. Mandira marjanado.
Ah,
So
cool. Thank
mandir
you.
means temple cleaning. Yeah.
That word sounded familiar. Gundichana, marjana. Thank you.
Okay. Let me see. What other one? Oh, who is the first Spider-Man in the Srimad Bhagavatam, and who's the second? So Narada Muni goes to Lord Brahma and says, "Hey, you're like a Spider-Man because it seems like you create everything with your powers and then wind it all up." And Brahma's like, no, 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 that's Krishna. And then Brahma plagiarizes Narada's glorification. And then he, like a few chapters later, he goes to Krishna and says, hey, you're like a spider, man. You create with your own powers and then you wrap it all back up right into, the examples that sometimes spiders will eat their own web. So they create the web for their own body and then they bring it back into their body as well. Okay, this one you might know. Okay, so Spider-Man's in the Bhagavatam. Which comic book heroes in the Bhagavad Gītā? Shapuji. DC Comics. Chapter 15.
Superman was Purushottama.
Yeah, Purushottama Yoga. Superman. Okay. Who issued threats to Krishna during one of his Janmashtami celebrations? And Krishna, I'll give you a clue. Krishna was quite intimidated by this threat. The cowherd boys. Yeah, because it's his birthday. His mom wants to have him come home, get dressed, do all this ceremonial stuff. And his cowherd boy said, if you go home and you don't stay and play with us, we won't play with you anymore. He's like, oh. he was a bit intimidated by this. He said, okay. Oh, here, right? Oh, what brand of shoes does Krishna wear? According to Sastra.
I didn't hear that.
What's the brand of shoes that Krishna wears? Know this one? Well, so here's this. Some people might get it, but so Balaram becomes Krishna's shoes. He becomes all the paraphernalia of Krishna. He is like the original servant of Krishna. So how do you say original servant in Sanskrit? So original, how do you say the original person? Adi Pursham. Original servant is Adidas. So Krishna wears Adidas. Let's see. Which monster put his hands like this after Krishna gave him a beating? This is from Krishna book in Bhagavatam. Put his hands like this after Krishna gave him a nice whooping. Any guess? He has more than one head. Kalia has hands. I read it like last year and I was like, wait a minute, what? Hands? Hands what? Now look at the Bible. Hands, it still says hands there. What's going on? How come I never got surprised before reading this? Like, what? Hands? Oh, what color is Krishna's hair according to Srimad Bhagavatam? Second canto, second chapter. Chapter G. Any guess? Bluish, blackish, bluish. Like a crow's feather. How it shimmers blue. What's the color of Mother Yashoda's skin, according to Nectar of Devotion? Bluish, blackish, bluish, just like Krishna. Oh, I like this one. What made Narada laugh when he visited Krishna living in Dwarka? This is one of the time when Krishna was manifesting many different forms. You know, he had 108 different Krishnas, and each one was doing different things. But something that Narada saw made him laugh. And that was Krishna was, you know, what Kshatriyas would do, they would sometimes do like the NSA. They would spy on their citizens. They would go and like dress themselves in wonderful costumes and just see what are people talking about. Not in their homes, but you know, in public, they would go and, you know. So I guess that's not NSA. Just go out and see, what are they talking about? Are they happy? Are they satisfied? And Narada thought it was so funny because Krishna's already in everyone's heart. So he's everything. He knows what's going on, but still he's dressing up in a costume. Okay. Ooh. Here's one. So do you guys remember what happened when Devaki was married and she was being taken home by her cousin Kṛṣṇa? She was taken home. Bride and groom were being driven by the chariot. And something happened. What happened? And then here comes the question after.
There was a voice warning.
Yeah, the demigods from the sky were making this. They said this voice, "Kṛṣṇa, you fool! The 8th child of your sister will kill you." Why did they do that? That's the question. Why did they warn the bad guy?
His mind could become fixed on Krishna. I'm not sure if that's the right answer.
Well, they prayed for Krishna to, you know, kill this guy. But you see, now he's serving Krishna's devotee. They're like, man, this doesn't seem like it's going to work out. Like, Krishna's not going to kill this guy. Everything seems, you know, this guy's really terrible, but he's serving Devaki. You know, we got to get him, like, be mean to Devaki. Then for sure, Krishna's going to get rid of him. And they said, "Kṛṣṇa, you fool." And then that's when he pulled out the sword and he was like, they were afraid that Krishna would be too kind to Kṛṣṇa. So they're stirring up some trouble. All right, so that's some of them. Oh, any story? What story has a dragon in it in the Bhagavatam? A dragon. Actually, the whole Bhagavatam wouldn't happen without this dragon coming.
It's the one that bit Parikshit.
Yes. Some people call it a snake bird, but the rest of the world calls it a dragon. Snake with wings, breathes fire. It's a dragon. Probably has hands too. Like call you. All right. Okay. Oh, here's one. Where is Prabhupada's place of worship, his office, and his home? Anybody know that one? Narayani.
I heard that recently.
Oh.
His office is at Bombay.
Yes.
What was the other? Worship and home.
Worship at home.
Well, one of them is Vrindavan.
His home is Vrindavan, and his place of worship is Mayapur.
Oh, yes, nice.
Okay. Name some folks that Krishna let out. They're in a timeout. Krishna let them out of a timeout. That one's probably kind of hard. The trees, the Arjun trees. You know, they're demigods cursed to become trees, so they're in timeout. Krishna let them out. I think I got. I mean, there's a lot, but we covered a bit. Okay, so there is a Rishi. His name is Lomasha Rishi. I just call him Hairy Rishi because Loma means hair, and he's very hairy. And he lives so long that every time a hair falls off his body, a Brahma dies. So he lives like trillions and billions of years and such. So the question is, what is Hairy Rishi's razor? So Hairy Rishi's razor is the razor of time. Prabhupada talks about this in a lecture on, and he gives the example of the hairy Rishi. So this Rishi lives so long that millions of years pass just for one hair to fall off his body. But when all the hairs fall off his body, that's the time when he dies. And so one day Narada Muni said, hey, Mr. Hairy Rishi, can we build, like, you're sitting here outside meditating, can I build a little cottage for you? He said, no, I won't be here for very long. Although he lives like trillions and trillions of years. So that's Hairy Rishi. Okay, I think probably good now, huh? You want another one? One more or? Okay. 2,000 years of history. And I'll get you have to give me the names. 0, 1, 2, 1 plus 2. And you got to give me the names. There's first one is 0, next one is 1, the third one is 2, and the last one is 1 plus 2. And this sums up 2,000 years of history, religious history in India. It's a riddle. Okay. Nirvishesha Shunyavadi. So Shunya means 0. Buddha, he taught void is nothingness, 0. Then came after him Shankaracharya, oneness. Then came Madhvacharya, duality. Then came Lord Chaitanya, Achintya Beta Beta Tattva, oneness and duality. Yeah. 2,000 years, you can sum up 2,000 years of history with just 0, 1, 2, 1 plus 2. And they're all actually, although they're seemingly teaching different things, they're all, actually under Krishna's direction. Okay. Thank you guys for sticking along, hearing my little riddles. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, when you read, it's good to, we used to play this. Well, when we were monks, we played this a lot. Is Krishna Trivia. Not such hard questions, though. Just sometimes we'd play like some very, like who's Krishna's brother, and speed questions. Whoever could answer it the fastest would be the next person to ask the next question. But then it would make you want to read, and then you would sometimes try to figure out like obscure facts that, like who is the demigoddess for smallpox? That was I felt that was my like stump question that you're like, no, where's that? And some random purport. But or name the 12 Mahajans. Oh, that's a like. But it would it would kind of encourage us to also, when we read, let me keep that. Let me remember that fact. I'll bring that in the next Krishna Trivia. One time they actually had, during Prabhupada's time, they had Krishna bowl. They made this like, and he wasn't very happy with it because it got like too much. It was like, there was like money and prizes or something. I don't know what they had, but they went really wild with it. And he's like, okay, this is too much. This is too much. But yeah, playing these games can encourage us to retain some things. And when we read, sometimes also, yeah, when we read, especially while you're reading, anytime it's something new that you haven't heard, or it's something different, write it down. Because as Prabhupada says, to write is to remember. To remember is to write. That's anything I really remember is something I've written down. I can go on reading for a long time. But if we don't write it down, then Kali Yuga brain, most of the time we're not going to remember any of it. But if we do write it, there's a much better chance of it sticking. So thank you all. Hare Krishna. Om Tat Sat.
Thank you. Hari Om Tat Sat.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Thank you so
Hare-
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.